Imagine this, your class 12th board answer sheet, the one you spent months preparing for, is sitting on the internet right now. Anyone with basic technical knowledge can download it without any permission, without your consent. This is not hypothetical. This has actually happened. This is CBSE Cloud link of 2026. If you are a student, parent, or an Indian citizen, you should know what your rights are. Hello, I am Konika Gayan. Today we are going to break down the CBSE OSM data breach, what actually happened and how serious it is, and what you can legally do about it. In 2026, CBSE introduced on-screen marking or the OSM for the first time at national level for class 12th board examination. Instead of physically sending the answer sheets to teachers, they would be scanned, uploaded to a digital portal and evaluated online. CBSE called it transparent, efficient and future of education. But here is what actually happened. Students got wrong answer sheets evaluated. Blurred, illegible scans were sent to examiners. Entire pages went missing from scanned copies. Portals crashed during evaluations. National pass percentage fell to 85.2%, lowest in 7 years. Over 17 lakh students were affected. But then it got worse. A 19-year-old named Nisarg Adhikari, who describes himself as ethical hacker, posted something explosive on X. He claimed that CBSE answer sheets and question papers were stored on an Amazon Web Service cloud bucket, and that bucket was completely open to the public. No login, no password, no authentication whatsoever. He wrote, as I quote, CBSE people did not configure their AWS bucket properly, and now anyone on the internet can download any scanned booklet across institutions. Multiple institutions are using the same bucket, insanely insecure. AWS S3 is a cloud storage service. Think of it like a Google Drive, but for large institutions. When it is misconfigured, it becomes publicly readable folder on the internet. This is exactly what happened with CBSE data. About 2 million class 12 students. Their board copies are publicly accessible. When this controversy broke, the CBSE deflected the blame to its technology vendor, a Hyderabad-based company, Coemt EduTech. CBSE said, and I quote from its official statement, "We have been closely monitoring the vulnerabilities in the OnMark portal of our service provider that are being flagged in the public domain." Notice the language. Our service provider. CBSE is pointing fingers. But here is what the law says, and this is important. An institution cannot outsource its legal liability by outsourcing its services. You as a student had contract with CBSE, not with Coemt. CBSE is responsible for your data. Now, here is where it gets even more disturbing. A 17-year student from Jharkhand named Sarthak Siddhant did something remarkable. He went through official CBSE bidding document on public procurement portal and found something alarming. He alleged that the eligibility criteria in the request for proposal was progressively diluted across 3 rounds. In his words, the tender appeared to be written to fit Coemt EduTech's profile. Of changes were done which favored Coemt EduTech in this deal. And Coemt EduTech has a history. They were previously linked to examination controversies in Telangana in 2019 and 2023. And this information was publicly available. Yet they got the contract just 66 days before the nationwide rollout. CBSE says it followed all the general finance rules. COEMT says there is no wrongdoing, but the questions asked by students, parents, and other citizens are legitimate, and they deserve legitimate answers. Let's talk about your legal rights in this situation, because you have more power than you think. First right is right to privacy. Your answer sheet contains your handwriting, your roll number, your personal examination data, and this is your personal information. Under Article 21 of Constitution, right to life and personal liberty, privacy is also a fundamental right. It means no government body, including CBSE, can expose your personal data without your consent. Misconfigured cloud server that leaked around 1.7 million students' answer sheets is not just a technical failure, it is a potential violation of your constitutional right to privacy. Your second right is Digital Personal Data Protection Act. This is India's dedicated data protection law. Under this law, CBSE acts as data fiduciary, an entity that collects and processes your personal information. And therefore, CBSE has legally binding obligation. They must implement reasonable security safeguards to protect your data, must notify affected individuals in case of data breach. Here, in this case, your scanned copies were stored without any authentication. Anyone could open and download your copies. Is your data, which is a clear violation of reasonable security safeguard requirements. Your third right is right to information. As a citizen, you can ask CBSE specific questions by filing RTI. Here is what you can ask. What security audit was conducted before OSM rollout? What was the technical eligibility criteria for the tender and why it was changed? How many students' data are exposed and for how long? What corrective action has been taken and by whom? Fourth right is complaint to CERT-In, the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, a government body that handles cybersecurity incidents in India. Under the Information Technology Act, cyber breaches involving sensitive personal data must be reported. If you are a student who is affected, you can report this breach to the CERT-In website and demand accountability from both the institution and the vendor. Your fifth right is you can approach the High Court or Supreme Court. If you believe your fundamental right has been violated, you can approach the High Court of your state under 226 of Constitution, the Supreme Court under Article 32. When government bodies fail in their constitutional duties, these writ jurisdictions come into picture. Affected students and parents associations can file petition for independent judicial inquiry, re-evaluation of copies, and compensation. As citizens, we must demand an independent judicial inquiry, re-evaluation options for students who received blurred, incomplete, or wrongly scanned copies. Accountability for vendor selection process, who approved this and why. Third-party cybersecurity audit of all the cloud systems used by CBSE. To every student watching this, your data is not a byproduct of education. It is yours. Your answer sheets, your identity, your personal data deserves protection. And when a government body fails to protect it, you have every right to question, challenge, and demand accountability. Students who exposed this, Nisarg, Sarthak, and many others, are the proof that India's youth is aware, informed, and refuses to be silenced. And this is what democracy looks like. If this video helped you to understand your rights, please share it with every student and parent you know. If you want us to cover what happens next in this case, comment CBSE follow-up and we will track this story. Subscribe to Know Your Rights India, because in this country, knowing your rights is not optional, it is essential.